Okay, folks, I said, here we are. And this is your man, Adolphus A.D. Moore, on the AdMax corner as your Houston Texans, after the 8th trip to Foxborough. They break the streak. They hadn't won a game in about the last 7 trips in Foxborough. But they broke the streak, the curse, and everything else. All the other stuff, pouring salt, all that other stuff that they take, throw a little salt over your back and whatever, all that other, superstitious stuff. Texans 41, Patriots 21. And guess what? It was just that type of a butt kicking. It probably should have been probably a couple of more touchdowns, at least a couple of field goals. It probably should have been touchdowns. But as D'Amico Ryan says, a win is a win. And about a couple of years from now, when it's time for the Texans to play the AFC East, in this case, nobody's gonna remember. They'll look back on this and go like, whatever. But the Houston Texans, as I stated, went to Gillette Stadium today and basically dominated a team that should have been dominated. They jumped up 14-0 in the first quarter, and after that, it's pretty well. The Texans as I stated, probably should have had more. But you know what? Take the victory and enjoy it, because here's some significant things that, at least from my standpoint, as watching this game, watch the Texans and the Patriots from Gillette Stadium today. That 1-2 running back punch of the Houston Texans, i.e. Joe Mixon, i.e. Dameon Pierce, showed up today and showed out big. There was a lot of concern about, with Nico Collins going on the IR for the next 4 weeks, how would the Texans manage? The Texans managed quite well today. Stephon Diggs got a chance to show why he's Stephon Diggs. And besides Stephon and from a receiver, Tank Dell got a chance to really sort of swing back into his mode today. Diggs touchdown catch today. Tank Dell, a touchdown reception today. Joe Mixon, a touchdown reception today. CJ Stroud, for all what we say, and here's the thing about it. I think we have gotten spoiled, and I think the overall league has gotten spoiled. CJ had a unbelievable first year as a rookie quarterback, and I think a lot of teams are looking to catch lightning in a bottle. I mean, obviously the Commanders today, with their young quarterback, however they lost. But I think with CJ and we sort of just not necessarily taken for granted, but we sort of was starting to get to this point. And this is only this young man's second year, and how he's starting to see things, look at things, and as he's always reminds us as the media, hey, I'm only in my second year, and I think we all have to be reminded and just be cognizant of the fact that he's still growing. The NFL is still his oasis. Yeah. And so I think what we need to just appreciate this young man from week in and week out. Yeah, that's going to be the losses. I know Minnesota, but that's okay. Heck, I never said they was going 17-0 and no stretch of the imagination. Oh, by the way, for those of y'all, all you Cowboy fans out there, cut the game off or cut it down and come back and listen to me, because I'm not like that certain guy on ESPN. I'm not gonna laugh at you. I mean, I just don't really understand that team, but that's okay. That same Detroit Lion team will be coming in here in November, I believe. So for a Sunday night game. So, are the Lions for real? And that's what it looks like right now. That's coming out of AT&T Stadium, because they are looking lethargic. Anyway, back to the Texans. The 1-2 punch of the Houston Texans today got off and running again today. And you know what? tip your hat to the offensive line. That's right. I mean, because these guys didn't block for themselves. Joe Mixon, 13 carries, 102 yards. Damian Pierce. Oh, yeah. Damian Pierce today. Really, 8 carries, 76 yards, but he had a 54-yard run. And this is probably the first time that we've seen the Damian Pierce that we know of and got a chance to really appreciate since about 2 years ago. Because last year was it a fluke? Everybody kept saying, I think that hopefully this will get him off the snide and get him back moving again. Glad to see Joe Mixon back in there. But the thing, what was so unique about it today, even though Laramie Thompson went out with an ankle injury and didn't come back, the fact that the Texans were still able to control it on the ground and then give C.J. Stroud enough time to throw the football. Defense, let's go back and we talking about C.J. Stroud. That other side of that top draft pick, Will Anderson, he feasted today. It was something that I remember that D'Amico Ryans mentioned about, that now that when we asked him at the beginning of the year training camp, that he, now that the Texans not gonna be a surprise sneaking up on somebody. And and to his credit, D'Amico Ryan knows his ball club a lot better than probably even us that cover him on a daily basis. And as he stated, we still hunting. And I mean, this was quite prevalent today and obvious today that the Texans are still hunting, because Will Anderson, 3 sacks today, folks. Whoa. Darnell Hunter, a strip sack. And so they had 4 sacks today. But from my perspective, it was the inside guys. Yeah, I'm glad to see that your edge rushers were good today. But I'm looking at the likes of a Mario Edwards and the other guys, just Khalil Davis and the likes. Those guys, those interior defensive tackles today, they ate as well. It reminded me of that movie when basically when she had the dogs in the truck and told eat, and the Texans basically they ate today. They ate real good. And I know somebody out there going, that's so grammatically wrong. Yeah, guess what? Get over yourself. Just having fun. Texans won today. So, but no, I was real impressed, but from the interior of the Texans, we knew what the Texans had from the edge, between Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. We that was what we expected today. And but the thing about it, the Texans ate from the inside too. They were good today. They controlled the interior of the interior line of the New England Patriots today. And yeah, I know. Okay, no, this was not the Tom Brady. Guess what? Too bad. Brady's gone. They still got the New England Patriots out there. They still got the Patriot in the middle of that field. And so what? Yeah, I know Belichick's gone. I know a lot of other, and the liking of that Patriot run is done, gone, and they're looking for a new time. But guess what? It's not there. So is it time for the Texans to step into that spotlight and grab the sunshine? Well, they're gonna have to compete with the likes of, and they've shown that they can do it last week against the Buffalo Bills, even though the long distance field goal. But the fact that they were able to get in that today and get took care of business. They took care of business. They carried a team to the woodshed that should have been taken to a woodshed. Yeah, Drake May had 3 nice touchdowns, nice bump, a nice long pass, and right up before the half. And at that point, folks, I sort of got did the Texans allow the Patriots to sort of get back and smell themselves. And y'all probably, for those of y'all don't understand that, Did they allow them, allow some little innocent little kid to, get out there and, act like, oh, I can play with the big boys. And they got out there, nice long strike right up before the end of the half. But the Texans came back in the third quarter and put them back in their place, reached over there, slapped them a little bit and put them back in their place. And so as in case of any and everything that happens as far as the National Football League, hey, let's enjoy this victory today. Oh, by the way, I'm broadcasting from H-Town today, but next week, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, and all those other sayings, I will be reporting from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Yep, the strike went off the bucket list. Your man AD Moore will be reporting from Lambeau Field. And so, that being the case, let's see. CA30. Let's see. Put you up here. How would you grade Stephon Diggs' off-season move so far? I'm giving 2 thumbs up. That's how I would grade it. 2 thumbs up. And I think we hadn't seen. And here's the deal: we still hadn't seen we hadn't seen the best of this yet. With Nico Collins now, with Nico being out, obviously I think you got to figure out if you had all between Tank, Stephon, and Nico there, you have to pick your poison. In this case, with Nico being out, and I think I alluded to this last week, Nico, and particularly on the scramble drill, is able to come up and get himself open. But Nico is on those seam routes, on the hash marks. Nico is just he's a big target. And the thing about it is not that CJ Stroud just throws it up there. There's a purpose when it's up high. With Nico being a tall, lean receiver, and I think, as they stated, he was the best receiver in the NFL up until pulling his hamstring. So I think when he comes back, I think we'll see some difference. But what it has done, Xavier Hutchinson, Joe Mechie, I think it's going to allow those guys, because both of those guys got in today. The Xavier Hutchinson, I think he got targeted today, no reception. Mechie got in. It's going to allow, by the next 3 weeks, those guys going to have opportunity to get in there and really show their wear. Yeah, I think, and here's the thing from my perspective. CJ Stroud is looking for the person that's open. Now, did he miss Tank Dell on a wheel on sort of like a corner route that he tried to hit Stephon in the fourth quarter there, and he could have had Tank Dell? Yeah, okay. I think if he goes back and look at it, Tank was so wide open. Let me put it like this: how wide open was Tank Dell? Tank Dell was so wide open, there wasn't nobody in the zip code in that area in Foxborough. Tank Dell looked like he he was so open you could have hit him from Providence, Rhode Island. And that's how wide open he was. But that's okay. Hopefully next week he can get that wide open in Lambeau Field against the Green Bay Packers. And so, I beginning of the week, everybody heard that they May would start, but I remember quite vividly how the New England Patriots, Jacoby Brissett beat, or a few years back, with Belichick utilized Jacoby Brissett, and he only threw 19 passes, but those 19 passes, but he utilized his legs, and the Houston Texans, who a lot of folks felt like deserved to go in there and take a game from the New England Patriots. Jacoby Brissett beat the Texans with his legs and only throwing the ball 19 times. So, and that's why I felt like, I didn't think, I'm glad they want to see what Mays can look like. I felt like maybe Jacoby Brissett would have offered them a different perspective today. But that's okay. This is their team. This is the way they wanted to run it. And I think May's going to be their quarterback, at least from what everything I've read and heard. Yeah, I think this young man, but like I said, give him time. Again, going back to the point that I think we've gotten a little bit, we got a little bit skewed. We got a little bit because of the uniqueness of way CJ was his success he had last year as a rookie, and then now we're looking at where he stands now and his progression. Everybody's not going to have that. I think that the uniqueness of it, and I say this, and I say this humbly. The Houston Texans were very fortunate that they picked second last year. And I'll leave it like that. I'll let y'all determine that for yourselves. But I think the Houston Texans were very fortunate to very fortunate that they had the second pick, and it was the best pick as far as I'm concerned. Tip my hat to, so that being the case. Game balls, obviously, I'm giving a game ball to Dameon Pierce, and I'm gonna tell you why. Yeah, I'm glad to see Joe Mixon back. Joe to get back, get running the offensive line. We hadn't seen this Dameon Pierce in 2 years. This is going in 2 years. This is the rookie Dameon Pierce. I think we got a chance to see today on that 54-yard run. So from that sense, my game ball goes to Dameon on this one. This is not a backhand. This is not a shot at Joe Mixon, because I think Joe is the deserving number one back between coming out the backfield on the wheel routes and passing. And passing, catching, a complete back, nothing against them. So as far as I'm concerned, I just think I was just glad to see Dameon get this opportunity. Are we in the greatest era of the Texans football right now, CA37? It looks like it. It looks like it. We're winning. D'Amico Ryans came in, has changed the culture, and I think he's proven that he was ready and willing and able to come home. But as far as the greatest era of Texans football right now, it's heading in that direction. And the thing about it, between in the AFC, you still got to go through. Everything still goes through Kansas City. You still got to go deal with the Baltimore Ravens. As far as the AFC South is concerned, I think the Texans are well in control of the South. Now, let me just preface everything. We're only an injury or two away from seeing that whole thing come back, just getting us pulled back to the pack. So, and that's just the way it is. That's the nature of the beast as far as the National Football League. You're one injury away from one way or the other. So the Texans, hopefully those guys and what they have been able to do with guys that have gotten hurt and gone down, those players that, again, like I said, Xavier Hutchinson and the Joe Mechis, the Mechis, and those type of players, the Dameon Pierce is starting to come back and show the Pierce of his rookie year. Are we in that era of Texans? Is this the best era right now? It's starting to appear that way. We hadn't seen this type of Texan style play since 2012, and here it is, 2024. That's over 12 years. That's in excess of a decade. And these gray hairs on my face. I've seen the Texans since their inception, and so I've seen and I've been around even when the other professional team left and went to Nashville. So CA37 is starting to look like that. I think it is the greatest. I'm not going to call it the greatest yet, because here's the thing about it. We measure greatness now by championships. Yeah, we got the AFC South, but we got everybody in the room can run up a conference deal. This is about winning. A divisional win. This is about winning. You got to get to the conference, and you got to play for the AFC Championship, and then you got to get to the Super Bowl. So Are we heading in that direction? In my humble opinion, and I underline humble very, eh, very conveniently, being humble to that extent. Yeah. So, are we heading in that direction? I think we're in the right direction. Got the right coach. I think you're putting together the right type of players. The culture is there, and the culture is here now. And here's the unique thing about it: they're doing this with a rookie quarterback on a rookie salary. So, the Texans got to hunt now and stay hungry now. This is about now. Okay, this has to be about now. And by that I mean everything's got to come together. And can it come together? Can they go to Kansas City where it looks like they might be at home? Can they go to Kansas City and defeat the Chiefs for an AFC championship, or can they defeat the Baltimore Ravens? Those are the questions that still are yet to be unanswered yet. And so we'll have to see. Okay, I think you probably heard enough from me. Again, like I said, my game ball is going to Dameon Pierce. I was glad to see him back. I was glad to see Stephon Diggs continue on his path. I was glad to see Tank Dell to continue. I was glad to see the offensive line because you got to give them credit. Texans averaged 6.9 per rush today. They have been, and for the last few weeks, they've been going a paltry 2.9, 2 point. They weren't even averaging 3 yards a pop. So the fact that they have more than 3 times what they were able to do the past 2 or 3 weeks, you know what? Hats off. And that gives a lot of credence to the offensive line, and they need to take a bow, and they should take a bow today. So, as I stated earlier, hopefully this time next week. Now, the sun may not be as pretty as it is now in Houston, Texas. Not sure. It's probably going to be a little bit cooler. And but you know what? At least I'll get to Green Bay before the winter months set in. Now I'm obviously going to be checking the weather forecast, but I expect for it to be a little bit cooler than what we're having now. But I am really looking forward to the trip next week to Green Bay, Wisconsin, to see as the Packers will host the Houston Texans. And just on a personal note, I remember the '67 the Ice Bowl game. So yeah, I'm that old. I've been the good Lord allowed me to stay around that long. So having said all of that, I am anxiously I'm like a little kid at Christmas almost, waiting to get up there to go see the Packer Hall of Fame and all the other about the Herb Allens, the Willie Woods, the Willie Davis, the Fuzzy Thurston's, you name it, the Nitschkes, to see where those guys, where the Lombardi statue. I am anxious to get a chance to, and even experience the atmosphere of the cheeseheads and everything. So without further ado, as I get ready to wrap and call it a day, again, Houston Texans, a good victory today. They spanked the team that they're supposed to spank, and they spanked them well. Texans 41, Patriots 21. They snapped the set. They had gone up to Gillette Stadium 7 times, and in 7 times they've been turned back. The 8th time was a charm today, and they didn't get turned back. In fact, they spanked the team that's not nearly as good as they are, but they're building, and we know what it's like because we experienced prior to D'Amico Ryan having 3-13 teams and the like. Understand what it's like to go through losing. So let's appreciate the victories where we are. Texans 5-1. Let's appreciate where we are with this team and with these players, because as I stated, we know what bad is. We already know what bad is. So, but let's appreciate the good and let's enjoy it for what it's worth, and celebrate this victory. And let me go see if are the Cowboys still playing up there? Oh, yeah, I guess so. I hadn't looked at my scoreboard. But anyway, hats off. Texans, appreciate it. Next week, coming live from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I will be there live and in living color. Yeah, your man, Adolphus A.D. Moore, about to sign off and say, look for me next week as I will be coming from Green Bay, Wisconsin. So without further ado, Tip of the hat to everybody. Peace. Ciao, y'all. I'm gone. Out. Enjoy the victory. Go watch the rest of the afternoon of football and the night Sunday night football, and get ready for Thursday night football. But I'm looking forward to next week getting able to get in the atmosphere of the Cheeseheads. I'm out, folks. We are done.